Namaste, Jai Bharat. The question is, how safe shall be the nuclear warheads with Pakistan and in Pakistan? There are various reasons to this. I was just hearing Tom Coppers, he's a man from Austria, defense analyst as I understand. He was making some narratives. There was a discussion between he and someone else, and he's from Austria, and Austria reminds me that I have a student living in Vienna. She's not gone to university teaching for the time being. Brilliant girl, brilliant girl. She has done PhD with me. She has a child, so she has a newborn baby, and then she's kept things in abeyance. Then only she will look for an opportunity, employment opportunity. So anyway, so this that's what when he said he's from Austria, then suddenly I thought of this student of mine who's very close to me. He made certain observations which are very, very, very right and correct. I'm not going into the details, that video must be available on the YouTube, you can see. Look at this. According to him, what he was telling is that they are incapable, in capital letters, they are incapable of taking care of their nuclear arsenals in an appropriate manner. So, this Tom Cooper was talking to some veterans American veterans, who were working for Pakistan, who were actually taking care of the nuclear arsenal, that is, safeguarding the safety, and the handling and all kinds of things. Look at prima facie, look at this nation who themselves are incapable of handling weapons by themselves. They don't know, they don't have the expertise, they don't have the skill, and they don't have the deft hand to handle such subtle things. This is one reason. Second reason is, look at the society and nation of Pakistan. Now, who is accountable to the world from Pakistan? Who is accountable? They are supposed to be a democratic country, but then we know. Let's look at the reality. Let's look at the facts, not what people say. Who is accountable? There's democracy, and you know what kind of democracy it is? The army wanted someone else to be the prime minister, and they rigged the entire elections. Someone who was won, actually, he is put in jail, and then someone is a puppet. Of course, they all shall be puppets in any case, at the hands of army. I'll come to that later. And making such a person as a prime minister. Now you may wonder, if the army is so powerful in Pakistan, then why don't they go stage a coup d'etat, and they themselves can become authority? In the past, several times, the army dictatorship was happening in Pakistan, but why not? There's a technical problem here. If it's a military dictatorship in nation, then they won't have the kind of acceptance which Pakistan needs, and Pakistan cannot survive without monetary help from others. They want money. They want money at any cost. So they can't survive without monetary help from others, and no one will be befriending Pakistan if it's a military dictatorship rule. And even who they consider as friends also want support. So they need a democratic government so that they can talk to the world that we are a democracy. And that gives some kind of legitimacy. Now, whatever happens inside the home, though might be known to everyone, but then it at least appears as a democracy, and the norms shall be fulfilled. That's why the army doesn't really go and take over the state into a military dictatorship. That's the only reason. Otherwise, it's very easy for them to stage a coup d'etat and become a dictator, military dictator. That happened in the past also. Now look at this. I'm talking about accountability. The democratically elected government supposed to be democracy again, because we are from one of the largest democracies in the world, actually the largest democracy in the world, most stable. So my understanding of democracy is entirely different. They say it's democracy, I don't know. They stage and they plan and put whosoever they want on the top. through rigging the ballots and whatever kind of things. What they have, all the techniques they know. So the government is there, and the government has no voice. What they say, no one's going to hear. Second, actually, the powerful element in Pakistan is the army. Army alone, because neither Navy nor Air Force has got no much say, because these two are obviously powerless. Army is the ground force. Of course, Army is always number one force, undoubtedly. There's no dispute about it. But in Pakistan's case, the deserving respect also is hardly given to the other forces. They are not different. They are one and the same for all nations. For all nations, that is there. But still, there must be some kind of respect to others. I don't think they have. See, the army is overwhelmingly authoritative. The people of Pakistan are so patterned and so say brainwashed to consider army as a supreme authority. They have highest respect towards army than anything else. That's number one. But is really the army accountable? No. There are this religious autochthones, the Maulavi element, and they have a different kind of authority. Everyone considers them as authority on behalf of God. That kind of, we know that Europe was known as, Europe is said to have a dark ages, the medieval period, where papacy was at its maximum, and where anyone will be representing God and acting on behalf of God, whatever he wants to do. You just take the name of God and act. Similar is the situation with the clergy in Pakistan, the Maulavis, who will speak and do things and quote religious authority, religion as an authority. So, who represents? They are the human representatives of religions on earth, so they have a kind of authority. Then there is another element, fourth element. So, first element is the democratically elected government, who are actually nothing. They are just puppets of army. Then the army, which is really powerful. Then the Maulavis, who are also really powerful. Then the fourth element, who's most powerful in a different way, in an implied manner, and there are plenty, 50 plus terrorist groups. And these terrorist groups are considered as heroes in Pakistani society because their leaders talk to people as these terrorists as heroes. Now they have a say. They live in luxury. Terrorism in Pakistan is a good job. You just become a terrorist, and the next day onwards you are in luxury. You have all kinds of luxurious life, and you have everything. So terrorism is one element. So the four authorities that's running Pakistan, and one is not accountable to another, and no one is accountable to anyone. That's also there. So if you talk about a nation who is so fabricated, another thing, the society is largely indisciplined because their fundamental education begins with madrasas, and madrasa education unidirection, where they design the minds of people in a particular way. They can do so many things which are normally unacceptable. They are normally unacceptable. They have sanctions with some kind of quotation, some kind of authority, do things which a normal civilized society can't do. So the society is by and large indisciplined. They are not really law-abiding citizens. For Pakistan, morality, all kinds of morality is nothing but, in capital letters, lack of opportunity. For Pakistan, morality is lack of opportunity. So given a chance, anybody can do anything and nothing is wrong. Everything is sanctioned, everything is permitted. No one is going to put a moral question to you. It's absolutely not right. It's not in the right interest of righteousness that you're doing. No one is going to ask this question. So such kind of a weak, morally weak and lawfully indisciplined society, where law and order is only through force, through coercion. There's a decent society. What happens is citizens will themselves be law abiding. They have some kind of inner reason. quoting Marx, Marx is so ambitious about believing that man has his inner law of reason. In Economic and Philosophical Manuscripts of 1840, he wrote that every man has an inner law of reason. Very ambitious, Marx, of course, very ambitious, absolutely not really founded, but generally, a civilized man has an inner law of reason, which has nothing to do with any other law. He has an inner law of reason. Must be, it's basing on family, basing on Sanskriti, basing on teachings, and basing on many positive things which has affected him in his life. And that inner law of reason is absolutely missing in Pakistani society. There may be exceptions, of course. There shall be exceptions, but I'm not speaking about exceptions. I'm speaking of the generality and the general trend of Pakistani society. So society is in chaos. Literally, you can speak about getting in chaos. If morality is lack of opportunity, that is established. When morality is lack of opportunity, whenever opportunity arises, anything can happen. So society is indisciplined. Army is not really accountable to anything else. The civil government, democratically elected government, are suppressed by army, like the puppets of army. Then the Maulavis have their way, and the terrorists are very disciplined people. Terrorists, there's nothing that they don't do or they can't do, because they have one objective. These people are actually brainwashed to believe that this life, what you see in front of you, or this life, what you live, is an illusory life. That's not real life. Right from day one in the madrasa education, they mostly, by and large, their madrasa stamp educated people, or really madrasa educated people. And whatever happens in madrasa, people should know. I need not to go into details. No, none of my otherwise business. So, so madrasa education is that they are really taught that this life is not the real life. The real life shall begin after death. And see, the Qayamat Din, what they say, that's a day of judgment. If you die in jihad, then you need not wait for day of judgment. You can straight go to heaven. So the real life starts in heaven. And like most religious Semitic understanding, there are promises of rewards and there are threats of punishment. These two things function simultaneously with religions. Semitic religions I'm talking about. There are promises of rewards and there are threats of punishment. Now these two things function. But whatever is forbidden on earth is largely permitted in the life after death. So these people are tuned to believe in that the real life starts after death. So they don't mind dying. They want to die. They want to die a wonderful life, because whatever is forbidden on earth is permitted in abundance in heaven. So they all want to die. And through jihad, because jihad which gives you shortcut to the day of judgment, so they enter into heaven. Fine. So this is around the situation in Pakistani society, and they have this nuclear arsenal which they are unable to handle, which they are unable to protect, and unable to do anything with it. They somehow, it's only somebody else outside Pakistan. You should know who they are. Other nations, including so good people people who have affluent in the world, not just someone else you think, but there are many others. They have facilitated this nuclear warheads in Pakistan. So the bunkers, everything is made and kept there. How safe it is. And the attitude of society, that's more important, I forgot to mention. The attitude of Pakistani society, every Tom, Dick and Harry, every vegetable merchant speaks that we are a nuclear nation, we will nuke you. You should be afraid of us because we are nuclear nations. They presume that Bharat is also a nuclear nation. Even then they would say, we are also a nuclear nation, we will do this, we will do that. You should be afraid of us. So the entire society, children, the vegetable vendors, and people out there in the street, rickshaw pullers, girls, ladies, men, they all speak the same language. We are a nuclear nation. We are a nuclear nation. Now look, They're so conscious about being a nuclear nation. They're speaking the ultimate. If you come to war with us, we'll nuclear you. Or we'll put, they use the word atom bomb. We'll put atom bomb. We have atom bomb. We'll put to atom bomb. Their level of understanding is only that. We'll put atom bomb. So look at the picture of Pakistan. Now, the world should decide how would you how would you treat Pakistan. I have a request to the entire world, whosoever can do it. Strip Pakistan of their nuclear capability. Please do strip Pakistan of the nuclear capability. You do not know when it shall go into the hands of one of the terrorist groups. There are terrorist groups in abundance, 50 plus terrorist groups. When it slips into the hands of a terrorist group, and if there is someone in the terrorist group is capable of launching, just one mistake is sufficient to destroy considerable portion of the world. Don't wait for 9/11 destruction. The world should strip Pakistan of the nuclear facilities and possibly, which of course doesn't happen in my nation also, stop this madrasa kind of education, support them in education, facilitate their economic growth, and let them live like civilized human beings. People should work towards that. Make these people live like civilized human beings through some kind of epistemology of coexistence. You need not to go into the Veda-Upanishadic epistemology of coexistence. That's on a very high, large level. But at least let them learn to coexist instead of picking up difference with any other person and then trying to kill one another. No, this is kafir, that is kafir. This kind of attitude should be done away with. The only method is that you program their education right from day one and do away with the madrasa education and let the religion be in its place, but not religious blindness or religious fanaticism. Pakistan is in the medieval period, if we speak in the Christian perspective. But how the Europe has come out of that, and not fully, you still have hangovers, that's a different thing, I would say that. Still have plenty of hangovers and not really come out of that. Civilization is not 100%, whatever you may claim of being civilized. It takes centuries and centuries to become perfectly refined. I don't claim that we are perfectly refined. At least we have a destiny written set to us by our ancestors. We have a program ahead of us. We can strive if you want and approximate if it is possible. But otherwise, the world should take away the nuclear arsenal of Pakistan, strip them of nuclear abilities, and they don't need it, as a matter of fact, because no one is going to attack such a poor nation until they're miserably asking for it. We shall meet again with some other thought. But this is something which the world should do. Strip Pakistan of their nuclear abilities. Otherwise, it can fall into several terrorist groups. It can fall into anyone's hand, and these terrorist groups are not controlled by anything and anyone. And then you will face the music. Anybody, including me, would face the music of society, my society, everyone's society. You do not know why. If you can avoid a trouble, a disaster, let's do it without hurting those people. Provide the means to exist in a meaningful manner. We shall meet again with some other thought. Namaste. Jai Bharat, Jai Sri Ram.